Back with another episode of Local Roots. I'm Todd Studer, and happy Tuesday. I hope you were able to get out and enjoy the weather yesterday. Yeah, a little bit breezy in places, but when you have temperatures in the mid-70s in the first half of March around our part of the world, yeah, we're going to take every one of those we can get. And a little bit cooler today, but it's supposed to be warm for most of the rest of the week. And then a chance for, it looks like we may even have some storms coming in on later on Friday and overnight. And I'm still crossing my fingers that I'll get out to be able to do a little camping this weekend. Yeah, it's going to be colder on the weekend, but I'm okay with that. I have a wood-burning stove that goes in my tent I've been wanting to use for a while. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that. I wanted to talk to you a little bit more today about podcasting. I've brought that up before, and my belief is that it is a wonderful way to be able to market your business if you have a small business or maybe even a larger business. And when I first got into it, several years ago, I was doing only audio. I didn't see the value of video. And now look what I'm doing. I'm looking at you on a video. And that is because I've learned and I've changed my mind about that there are so many things that are an advantage to using video. And the podcast can then give you an opportunity to create video shorts. And look, whether we like it or not, we live in a TikTok world. That's just slang for saying that, there are so many people that are absorbing content 30 seconds at a time in video shorts or reels or whatever. You've all seen them. You know that these exist and you could be in there with your business. Now, I do not recommend doing them as an advertisement. Don't make it look like, hey, stop in and get this much off of whatever product it happens to be that you're selling. Don't do that. I don't think that it works that way, and people will just slide right on by. They're not watching those reels for commercials. But you can pass along information that you're an expert in. And if you are in business, I'm guessing you're an expert in what it is that, whether it's a service or a product, you know it better than anybody else if it's sitting on your shelf. So these are the types of things that you can talk about. And it's a way to make a connection to either existing customers or potential customers in the future that may not know that you exist. And that's what I really believe is the biggest value to having a video podcast. Yeah, longer form also serves its purpose, but that is where the shorter form is coming from. And you can tell as we're recording this, because of the nice weather, you're probably hearing some motorcycles going by outside, but that's that's just part of the nicer weather. People want to get those bikes out just as quick as they can. So anyway, all of that is to say that I would encourage you to look into the possibility of doing a podcast. I've helped a lot of people get podcasts going, and that's not what this is about. It's not a pitch to try and get more podcast clients for me. I do it because I truly see the value. This is my business. This is what I do. And if it wasn't effective, I wouldn't be doing it. So that in itself is proof as far as my belief in this product is concerned. So using those videos to be able to make video shorts, and I do that for some people. As a matter of fact, I wanted to pass along a podcast that I've been producing for a couple of years. This is a local businessman, and he's in the service industry. His name is Travis Waldstein. Many of you already know Travis, but if you don't, Travis has an HVAC company, which is part of a franchise, Air Serv Heating and Air Conditioning. And then he also has a standalone business that he does with his son called Waldstein Plumbing. And his son, Hayden, heads up the plumbing side of it, and Travis heads up the HVAC side. But he started a podcast a couple of years ago called Circle of Trades. And the podcast is designed to encourage young people to consider the trades, just consider the trades as an option when you're coming out of high school, as opposed to the traditional 4-year route. For some young people, it makes a lot of sense. Not for everyone, but for some, it does. And if you go back and initially, he was only doing audio for the first year and then switched over to video. And if you go back and watch some of those or listen to some of those, he has a wide variety of folks that are on. Sometimes it's someone else in the trades, whether it's somebody in concrete or it could be, I know one time we had someone on from a water treatment plant. But also, Travis is great about thinking outside the box. He had one of my favorite florists on as a guest, and she has Bloomworks in Council Bluffs, and Elisa was on as a guest because if you think about it, being a florist and you are working with your hands and you are creating something, that's the trades. That's exactly what it is. It's no different than being a carpenter or being HVAC, that kind of thing. So these are all different types of things that he wanted to talk about, just to give a wider view about what this industry is. And his latest guest is someone who has a boutique in Neola, the Unique Boutique. Jamie Bush also is with the AIM Institute. And the AIM Institute is an organization designed to help people get into the tech world. And tech is in everything now. I mean, and Travis even brought it up during the podcast that you can't even buy a refrigerator anymore. That isn't a smart refrigerator. It all has tech in it. So that ties directly in with the trade. So I thought we'd bring you a little bit of that podcast today, Circle of Trades, on today's show, Local Roots.
I'm going back to I've got twins that are 27, and we talked about Harley earlier. I remember going to Iowa State. This was back when he was a sophomore, junior, and they would have the robotics competitions. They would have this, and I don't know if it was necessarily through AIM, but it was through a very similar program like what you are. And, you'd go, in Omaha area around here, you go around kids local, you go over to Des Moines or Ames, wherever they had the program, you were able to see some of the brightest kids around the state and kind of see how their minds work. I mean, they're not just 15, 16 years full of mush. These kids are smart, and but you just got to put what excites them in front of them, and then give them some direction. It's kind of amazing what they'll do, and I'm sure you see that quite a bit with where you're at now.
Oh yeah, and it's fun too, and I'm learning with them. Like I said, I work for AIM Institute and I learn every single day. I learned something with Google Forms earlier today, and I'm sure my IT person was like, "Oh, Jamie," but I learn with these kids as well. We're about to start drones, and I was kind of afraid to bring them into Wilson only because I don't know anything about these, and I don't want to break them, and I don't, and they're like, it's fine, it'll be fine, so we're going to be learning together, and that's fun because then I'm learning stuff as well. So
the Council Bluffs Fire Department, and I don't know if Alex Ford still does this or not, but they used to have drones for checking fires. And so they'd get these drones. These drones could go, the fireman drones, they can go like a couple miles away.
Yeah.
You could be able to see oversee, and so you can see fires. So like 10 year, when they had M's Pub several years ago, some of the fires they got was from drones being up above in the technology.
Okay.
Yeah. And, that's really cool and what they can do at a distance. Now you have to follow FAA rules. There is a little criteria on that,
Yes,
but
yes.
I had one here about a year ago around my farm, and you want to talk about a different perspective. Get drones later on. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that. It's just a totally different perspective. So,
yes.
And you can make a lot of money doing that.
Our neighbor is Adam Gittens.
Okay.
Do you know who that?
Yeah, I know who that is.
His drones are always flying, and they're big. They're big drones. I mean, like you think it's a mini plane. And I'm like, what is that? Now we just know because they're always circling. There's like 4 or 5 of them up at night that go all over, but he has like different government contracts and stuff like that. He had come in when I was teaching in the schools and showed the kids like, all the different things, flew the drone through the school and different things. And like, even just that, look at the technology, not only just the drone technology, but he goes in and does like photographs and videos and gets all of the coordinates of the farms and then shows them like where they can go through and take out whatever they needed or put in whatever they need to put in.
Tiles or fence or whatever it is they need to do.
And like, look at that. I mean, and that's a program that was developed,
If you'd like to see more of Travis's conversation and me, I'm on that podcast too, with Jamie Bush. The link is in the description here to the show. That'll take you directly to that episode on YouTube. So I encourage you to watch it and also watch some of the other episodes that are there as well. It's a great podcast, and Travis is tons of fun. And at some point, he's a big Hawkeye fan. He'll take a shot against the University of Nebraska. It's going to be in there, but it's all in good fun. And again, I encourage you to go back and watch some of it. And Travis is a friend, but he's also the guy that I call. If I have any HVAC or plumbing needs, he's my guy, without question. just because I know of his integrity and I know that he follows up with what it is that he says he's going to do. So that's, to me, that's everything. So again, click on the link, watch the entire episode, go back and watch some of the other episodes as well. All right, we're going to wrap things up for this Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me on today's show. And if you have any ideas or maybe just a suggestion of an organization that you would like to see on the podcast, nonprofits, we are always reaching out to you and want to give you an opportunity to talk and to get your message out a little bit further. So send me an email, toddstuder@gmail.com, and I would love to be able to talk to you. All right, I'm Todd Studer. Have a great Tuesday.